So this is my roommate. His name is Marcos.
Hello.
He's the one we're gonna do the conversation with, and we'll kind of just get started. So Marcos, what do you think about gay marriage?
What I think
Your
about gay marriage.
Views on it?
Yeah, sure. Well, I think love is a lot more fluid than people think, and I think that, if being with someone means that they just, if that someone makes them happy, then go for it. Like,
Do you
by all
think
means.
like what kind of like family life did you grow up in? Did you grow up in like a very religious household that was like against gay marriage, or did you?
Yeah, well, yeah. So I grew up out in the middle of nowhere in the country. So, and my mom, we're Mexican, so my mom's hardcore Catholic. Pretty much the only like hardcore Catholic in the family, though.
So your dad's not.
My dad's
so-
Catholic too, but
sure.
he doesn't want to go to church or anything.
Yeah.
So it was a conservative upbringing. My dad always watched Fox News, which and yeah, and so you have the Catholic influence from my mom, and I'm watching Fox News with my dad. But gay rights wasn't really a thing back then.
So you weren't really exposed to people being like
Being gay, I remember the first time I saw a gay couple. It was these two guys, and they were camping out. It was the first time I saw the rainbow flag and all that. I was just confused. I was like, what? This is a concept I've never seen before.
And was it something like your parents or your mom had like specifically said like, gay
watch
is
out.
wrong, that type of thing, or did they just not talk about it since you weren't really around it?
I think so. When I saw that, my sister saw me see that and saw my shock, and I think my mom simply just pointed out that they were gay and left it at that.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, for me, obviously, I grew up with gay parents, so it clearly wasn't weird or anything like that. I didn't have to get socialized into it because it was
it was a thing.
Yeah, it was the environment I grew up in, and
Yeah.
so I never really had to kind of make the decision for myself, if I thought oh, it's wrong, or oh, it's okay, because it is okay. That's just how it was. And so when we've gone to places we've gone to places that were more conservative, we went to Idaho a couple years ago, and legitimately had people say stuff to us.
Yeah.
And
not too much diversity.
yeah, not too much diversity there. But so it's definitely a big part of kind of how you grow up and which kind of family environment you grow up in.
Oh, undoubtedly.
Yeah, and it's definitely kind of a region thing too. But there's people in the Pacific, Northwest, that are also against gay marriage too. It's just smaller communities.
Sure.
Clearly.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So then, how much time we got? Oh, only one more topic. What do you think about the death penalty?
Ooh. The death penalty, capital punishment. I think I'm okay with the death penalty.
Okay. Are you okay with it, or would you advocate for it?
I would never. I feel like it's never a good idea to advocate killing anyone. Anyone being killed, but
if it was okay, you would be fine. You wouldn't say, "Oh, I think this is."
Well, it comes down to it's families need justice. What do you do with a guy who's taken away a family member? It's what lock him up for 50 years. What are prisons now? They're like hotels, dude. They have food. It's not super bad food. You just food, and all they do is work out, get buff until they die. And
so then, playing the devil's advocate, I'm in agreement, in accordance with you.
Okay.
I agree with the death penalty, but playing devil's advocate, what would you say? It doesn't make sense to take a life when there's already a life taken.
Sure.
That type of thing.
Yeah. Eye for an eye is what I say, and that's just. If someone's willing to kill someone and take those memories, not being able, that's just such a huge thing, ending a life, that's just, and doing so illegally, or not to protect yourself, I guess, that's.
And did you grow up did your family talk about that? at all?
A little bit, because this was kind of a bigger issue a few years ago. They did. My dad was for it for sure. My mom might be against it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, my environment definitely kind of showed that. Like, my parents are super against every form of any kind of punishment, really, in terms of like lawful stuff. Even though my mom's a judge,
Right.
but yeah, she's super against it. But that's where I've differed from them. I definitely do kind of agree with the death penalty and think that in circumstances it can be okay.
Yeah.
We're almost out of time, but yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting, and then it comes to the point though of saying, like, is one life worth more than another? Like,
Well, all lives are equal, right?
yeah, but then if you say if someone kills someone and then you kill them, you're kind of saying this person's life was more
Dude,
important.
it comes down to justice. Justice for the party that's been hurt.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
You got to find justice in the United States. That's what we're about.
All right, and that's a good place to stop. Thank you, Marco.